Welcome to the Raw and Real of Real Estate podcast, powered by LPT Realty, Real Estate Reimagined, with your host, the one and only Betsy Tinnervin. On this podcast, we bring you people who share their personal journeys in life, business, and of course, real estate. Get motivated, inspired, and priceless information from entrepreneurs, community leaders, and realtors who are thriving. Now let's get raw and real. Here's Betsy.
Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host, Betsy Tinnervin, with LPT Realty and the Tampa Bay Investments team. I'm so excited for today. You know, sometimes they say business in the front, party in the back. But today, I think we have a business in the front and a party in the front. We have some amazing people here today that honestly are just full of life and really great in the real estate career. They have some awesome stories they're going to share with you today. We try to talk about the raw and real of life, business, and real estate. And I am honored to have two amazing LPT agents, as well as one of the number one mortgage lenders in the Tampa Bay community, who I've gotten to know well. She has been on this show before. So I'm going to start with you, Gina Bufumo, because you kind of coordinated this group of people here. So Miss Gina.
Yes. Hey, Betsy.
How are you?
I'm fine, and Happy New Year to you and everyone out there.
I appreciate that. Where's my guy Dennis at, man?
Oh, he's just taking it easy a little bit this week. So, yeah. But
Okay.
He says hello and sends his love.
Good. I'm so excited to have you here on the show and that you've kind of coordinated what's transpired with this group of people. I know that we have one of the agents that you've sponsored with LPT, and then we have your lender here.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about just what's going on in your career and how you're doing.
Wow. Well, I tell you, we finished off 2022 with a bang. I had 3 closings in 1 week, which was pretty awesome. And I double-ended one, which was even better. So, yeah, 2022 was a pretty good year. I can't complain. I did invite Heidi Lombardi, who is my preferred lender. She's with Pioneer Mortgage, and Justin Klein, who recently joined LPT. I think Justin's loving it so far. With all the tools that LPT gives us, I mean, what's not to love?
Well, your track record of closings are not shocking to me.
Nope.
Because from the moment that we had our first conversation, I could just tell that your professionalism just bleeds every time you talk, and just the things that you know about real estate and the things you've done are pretty phenomenal. Miss Heidi Lombardi, welcome back.
Hi, Betsy. Thanks
How are
for
you?
having me. I'm great. How are you?
I am awesome. I think that it's phenomenal, just the things that you've done in the mortgage industry. I've looked up your stats, which I've texted you. So you had a pretty good year in 2022, even with high interest rates. How was your year this past year?
Yeah, it was great. I've primarily been focused on purchase business my whole career. So fortunately, that means that, you know, the fluctuations in the interest rate don't have a huge impact on my business, because we still, of course, have people that are renting that want to buy. We have people looking to move up or move down, and a huge influx of people still coming to the state purchasing homes. So we were able to maintain some really great numbers this year. We helped a lot of people buy homes, and we're super excited about 2023.
I think you're being really humble about your numbers. You're going to throw out some numbers, because I saw some posts on the internet.
Honestly, Betsy, this sounds terrible, but if people can quote their numbers off the top of their head, I don't really focus on the numbers. I focus on the people and the homeowners.
For sure.
And so I know we closed a lot. I know that I was one of the top, obviously, in this area, and I'm extremely grateful for that. But my success has always been rooted in customer first and putting the buyers first, and really just focusing on that. So
I love that.
I wish I could quote numbers for you. You could probably tell me what they were better than I can.
I just know that I've talked to you on the show before.
Yeah.
I follow you on social media, and I just know that when you are one of the number one mortgage loan officers in the Tampa Bay area, speaks volume, because there's thousands and thousands of people that live here.
Yes.
And I know even in the real estate industry, even in Florida now, there's 1,000 agents in the state of Florida. So I know that we have a lot of lenders and a lot of people. So you should just be proud. I agree with you. I think that numbers are numbers. But when you have the volume of closings that you have and you can still provide a high level of customer service to everyone, which I know you do, it's really great. So I'm glad to have you back on the show.
Thank you, Betsy. Yes. And again, I feel very blessed and fortunate that we were able to help so many people. So
awesome.
I'm looking forward to doing that again this year.
Mr. Justin Klein, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I'm sure that Gina threw you to the wolves and didn't give you a whole lot.
Absolutely.
I know her well.
Still drowning here.
So I think it's really great, one, that you are new to the industry, but really great to just hear about like what you do currently.
Yeah.
I think it really showcases who you are. So I hear you have a full-time job.
Yeah, so my full-time job, I work 40 hours between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that's at a group home. And honestly, that's how I ended up meeting Miss Gina, because the owner of the group home, I used Gina as a realtor, and she connected me to LPT.
So let me get this right. Owner of the group home, knew Gina, you're working at the group home.
And then Amanda connected me to Gina.
Yes, Amanda mentioned that he was newly licensed. And I said, oh, would you mind asking if he'd be interested in speaking with me? And she put us in touch. And I spoke to Justin about LPT, and he was all in.
I think that it's awesome just how you have the circle of life in our business. And I do want to circle back a little bit. What exactly do you do at the group home, and like what is the clientele there?
Yeah, so I'm a direct care staff over there, so I basically help them with their day-to-day needs, and that involves everything between handing out medicine and just helping them out. What
type of group home? What's the clientele base?
So they are intensive behavior. So they range from severe autism, OCD, schizophrenia.
Okay.
All that stuff.
So you have some thick skin.
Yeah.
And you also have a really big heart.
Yes.
I love that. I think that's great. I think that what people have to realize, Justin, and just so all the listeners out there know, you can jump into a new career and apply your past like very simply. So the factor that you have thick skin and you're tough will make you great with like negotiating. The factor that you also have compassion and care, just like Heidi was speaking about, it's going to make you very customer service friendly. So make sure that you're not afraid to like shine in those areas. Anyone can write a real estate contract.
Yeah.
It's a fill in the blank. So I tell people all the time, what you can't teach people is people skills and sales and relatability. So I know for a fact in 2023, you're going to win.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Hashtag winning.
I agree.
Do you think so, Gina?
Oh, absolutely. I think from the moment I spoke with Justin, I kind of knew what type of person he was. And just working at that group home, I knew he was going to be phenomenal. So, yeah, here's to Justin, 2023.
And pat on your back, Gina, because I think it takes special people who are willing to lift other people up. I think you're only as good as the people that you serve and help. And I think that speaks volumes for just who you are. If someone wants to contact you, Miss Gina.
Yes.
Could you throw out those digits for them?
Sure. My phone number is 954-829-4440.
And Miss Heidi Lombardi with Pioneer Mortgage. Could you give them your phone number?
Of course. It's 813-363-5953.
And Mr. Justin coming in hot in 2023. What is your number?
It is 813-967-8904.
To all the listeners out there, we are going to give you some quality information when we return in segments 2, 3, and 4. We're going to circle back to, again, the raw and real of life, business, and real estate. But we're going to give you specific information, just how these guys do serve without expectation. These are 3 people that really choose to bleed just serving people in their industry. Heidi coming from the mortgage industry, whether it's a first-time home buyer or someone purchasing $1 million property and upsizing, she has done it all. She has worked with it all, and she's done it firsthand in a way that makes people feel comfortable, and it's all about the experience. Gina Bufumo has been in the industry forever and continues to bring more people in the industry, and she is going to talk about what her plans are in 2023. Is just also one of the real estate industry leaders in the Tampa Bay Bay Area. And then I do want to hear from Mr. Justin, which I think will be interesting for all the listeners out there, what his goals are for 2023 as he continues to inspire and serve at this group home that he's at during the day, but also build out his business as now he is officially an entrepreneur. So we're coming at you live with all that information. For everyone out there listening, this is brought to you by LPT Realty. Mr. Robert Palmer makes all things possible on our show. We love being a catalyst and a connector in the community. If you are interested in getting on the show, you can contact me at 813-609-0229. Pop in those earbuds. Do not forget to download the iHeartRadio app. We play on multiple stations and we give you pertinent, priceless information every single weekend. So again, want to thank all of our listeners out there. I know also we haven't talked about Hurricane Ian for a while. Tragedy always hits and then people are forgotten, but we have not forgotten you. Everyone in Fort Myers, Port Charlotte, and Cape Coral, as you are rebuilding, we hear you. We're with you. We're here to inspire you. I know we have some of you listening every weekend. We just want to let you know that there's always a breakthrough after a breakdown, and everyone here in Tampa Bay is super supportive of everything that you guys are going through. So we're going to go ahead and pay some bills. You are not going to want to miss segments 2, 3, and 4, and you will see us after the break.
The best comp plans ever in stock and revenue share, but if we're not closing real estate transactions, all of that is worthless, because ultimately everything starts with a real estate transaction, which starts with a consumer. And so we wanted to arm our agents with the absolute best technology and best marketing tools to do more real estate. And that's, again, I think a big differentiator. I think very few brokerages really sit down and say, how do we provide tools to make sure that our agents can be more productive, sell more real estate, win more listings, win at more listing appointments, help more buyers find that home. And we're very focused on that. And so while we have the best comp plans and the best ways for agents to generate wealth and earn, we also have the best tools, and more importantly, I would say have the best tools to help you be successful in real estate.
Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host, Betsy Tinnervin, and we have some phenomenal LPT agents with us today, as well as Miss Heidi Lombardi, who is back from Pioneer Mortgage. First of all, Miss Gina Bafuma, we actually met in a real estate class.
Yes, we did.
I love the factor that you've been in the industry for how many years now?
Since 2014.
So quite a while.
Yep.
And you are definitely a seasoned agent, and you are still willing to be a student of the game.
Absolutely.
And I tell people all the time that it's really awesome, the people that have so many years in this industry, have so many transactions under their belt, but they're still taking time for research and education, 1, to keep up with the current market, and 2, keep up with the trends in our industry.
We have to.
So we met in a class.
Yes, we did. And I'm so looking forward to, I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to tell people about Investor.
Awesome.
Betsy is going to be hosting this, and I am just so excited. This is happening on January 14th from 9 to 5. And I know if you get VIP tickets, it's going to be a little bit longer, so you get to network with some superstars over there. So you may want to tell people about this and invite more people. I'm excited.
We are doing the Investor. We're doing a little spin-off here. So the Investor is going to be people who actually have overcome super immense situations, sexual assault survivors, drug addiction, prison terms, and most of all of them now are entrepreneurs and invest in real estate. So we're going to have a group of people there, vendors that can help them plug in and kind of build out an investment portfolio. But the biggest thing is we really are targeting those people that just want to learn, right?
That's great.
And I also think it's going to be awesome for agents out there, lenders, hard money lenders, contractors, people that just want to kick off 2023 and get inspired. I think it's really great. The bonus about the tour, though, is that we are not keeping the money. We have national speakers that are going to be speaking. And I don't know if you even know this or not, Gina, but no one is getting paid to speak. We actually did use money out of our own pocket for marketing costs and things like that. The money from the tour, which again, when we start selling out as we keep going, if you have $25,000, $50,000, goes as a down payment to buy housing for people that are homeless and getting off the streets.
That
and
is
actually,
awesome.
Yeah, it backs in with Worth and Purpose, Travis Doodles Foundation, and then also Crossover Church, Love Our City. And as the tour keeps going, it is all going to be at urban churches. So we give back to the church, we rent their space.
How awesome is that? Really, giving back to the community.
It's a twist.
I love it. I'm excited. I can't wait.
What I really love, though, is just you and I and like kind of the relationship we build. I think we need to talk for a second about how there really isn't competition in an industry with people that really want to support other people. And so I remember one of the first conversations we had was with Dennis, and he was frustrated about social media. And I spent a good 45 minutes with him, like, hey, what can I do to kind of help you do that? And so just to hear you come on the show and promote my event, I think that you're just an amazing human being.
Well, thank you. I feel the same about you, Betsy. And I just see how much you do for other people, which is astounding. I mean, really, you just go above and beyond, which in this industry is truly amazing, and I do appreciate it, Betsy. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Well, we've only had a couple tears on this show, and I've only cried once, but Gina's pushing the envelope. I really appreciate that. I really want to circle back to you and Justin and your relationship and your partnership with Heidi. So I kind of actually want to turn to you to host for a second and really just talk about, bringing new guys in, how you're kind of being a leader, how you're sponsoring, and then also kind of your partnership with Heidi. So take it from there.
Okay. Well, like I said, we had met, it was pretty much over the phone.
Yeah.
I got introduced to Justin from a client of mine whom I helped purchase a home. She turned that home into a group home and hired Justin to be an employee. So he does work at a group home. I've got to speak to Amanda again, who's the owner of the group home. She's purchasing other homes to open up more group homes.
I need to connect with this Amanda.
Yes. And
so what's the demographic, though? Because that's what I was trying to get Justin to kind of tell me is it juveniles? Is it senior citizens?
so it's juveniles right now.
Okay.
I believe they're, if I'm not mistaken.
A mix of both.
Yeah.
So, our youngest was 17, and then they go up to like 45. There's only one that's that old. But typically they stay between like 20 to 23 years old.
Okay. And so, Gina, you are selling these properties, and she's kind of like more like an investor, but she's servicing the community.
Yes, correct. And from what I understand, hopefully this will happen, hopefully this year. She wants to do one for the little ones. There is a great need for group homes in this area. It's amazing how many kids really do need our help.
So does she do grant funding for like payment for them, or is it like insurance based, or how does that work?
I'm not sure the basics of how her operation works, but I do know that I guess the government pays somehow, but it takes a whole town and village to raise these kids. It really, really does. And you have to have responsible employees such as Justin to be able to, take care of these kids. And it's an overnight thing. It's a 24/7 job. It's not like, you could just leave them and that's it. You go home to your families. Somebody always has to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think what's really cool is, Heidi, you said you really like serving people. And so one of the things you get to do is you get to actually collaborate the financing on transactions like this. So with this type of situation, I don't think everyone understands how you can have an organization like that, but still profit at the same time. So for instance, this might have been like a DSCR loan situation because it is going to be an investment asset. Do you want to talk about structuring a deal like that?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So, the great thing about mortgage lending is that there's almost infinite options for people. So, so we have a subset of products that serves first-time home buyers, and then we have a subset of products that serves investors, and then we have another set of products that serves our veterans. So we have all different types of loan programs. In the case of somebody who's running a group home, or somebody who maybe has a lot of income but also a lot of expenses, maybe they don't claim everything, they have a lot of deductions on their tax returns. We have programs like bank statement loans. DCSR loans are a great option. That is called debt coverage service ratio loans. And basically what that means is that the amount of rent you could get for the property would cover the mortgage payment. And that's the basic requirement for those loans. Those loans have become quite popular right now in our industry with investors, and are a great option for people who aren't comfortable documenting their personal financial situation or can't for some reason. So
yeah, I think it's really awesome for a self-employed investor to be able to come in and say, hey, finance me just based off of my credit and then cash flow of an asset.
Exactly.
Instead of going through the whole process. And what's crazy is, it's like self-employed people sometimes like totally get the shaft. I feel like we are required to do like so many more things.
Yes.
And so for realtors out there looking to put together some type of investment, definitely reach out to Gina, because I think it's a really great option to have a loan product that can services that, as well as self-employed people are able to invest as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because our traditional mortgage lending, requires a certain history of self-employment, and they're looking at tax returns. And, so a lot of self-employed borrowers are in a position where, they have to make a choice. Do I pay the government 35% of what I make and not claim all my expenses so I can look like I make more money? Or do I use some of these alternative lending programs? And we do quite a few of those. They are very prevalent in our industry. We just came out with a GCSR product that will allow you to use Airbnb modeling for rental income, because a lot of people are doing Airbnbs. So that sometimes give them extra income versus like a traditional monthly rent schedule.
Well, don't give them all the nuggets, Heidi. We still got segments 3 and 4.
Don't worry. I have a lot more.
Justin, if someone wants to contact you for real estate needs, could you give out your phone number, please?
Absolutely. 813-967-8904.
And Miss Heidi, if someone is interested in all of these fun loans that you offer, could you give your number out?
Oh, sure, Betsy. It's 813-363-5953.
And Miss Famous Gina Bufumo, throw out those digits. We won't tell Dennis.
My number is 954-829-4440.
If you're listening today, you have a wealth of knowledge and just a multitude of things. We are going to give more information on what it is like to jumpstart your career as an entrepreneur. I want Justin to discuss to all the listeners out there what it's like as he is working a full-time job, kind of following his passion, now jumping into something new, what that process is like. You can really apply this in any industry. You don't just have to apply it. It's not just applicable to real estate, but it's applicable to business as a whole. So we're going to come back with segment 3 and run you through what that's like to become an entrepreneur while you still have a full-time job and how that is possible in 2023. We're also going to talk to Gina and Heidi of what they think the twist and turns of the real estate market and lending market is going to be in 2023, because I think there's a lot of myths out there, and we're going to clear that up for all of our lovely Tampa Bay listeners. Anybody interested in being on our show, if you are a business member of the community, you are somebody that provides a service in the Tampa Bay area, and you would love to chit chat with all of the #1 thriving realtors, you can contact me at 813-609-0229. We're going to pay some bills, but we are going to come jam-packed worth of information in segment 3 with Justin, Heidi, and Gina. You are not going to want to miss this. We will catch you after the break.
Biggest win, I think, with the dual path and having these two models is that now we become a brokerage for everyone. No matter where you are in your real estate career or what your goals are today, maybe today you're not interested in recruiting or having a team, but then one day you wake up and you are. Well, if you're at the wrong brokerage to do that, you're locked in. Where in our model, we're not holding anyone hostage. We're not tying anyone in. You can move between the different comp plans and have that success and really achieve whatever your definition of success is under one brokerage platform, being LPT.
Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host, Betsy Tinnervin, and we are just having a phenomenal time today walking through a multitude of things that, again, apply to our theme, the raw and real of life, business, and real estate. I have Gina Bufumo, a very seasoned LPT agent, here with us today, serving the Tampa Bay community. I have Justin Klein here, who is new to the real estate industry. However, he has a great background on serving a multitude of clients, as he actually works full-time in a group home, helping juveniles with multiple issues just kind of survive and be able to be loved and cared for and walk through life with him. We have a returning guest, Heidi Lombardi with Pioneer Mortgage, who again is very humble, but is one of the #1 mortgage loan officers in Tampa Bay. So again, as promised, listeners, we're going to run it back to my guy, Justin, over here. So Justin, you jumped into the real estate game brand new, knew nothing about it. You got your license. Talk to everyone out there of what it's like to work a full-time job and build out this business.
Man, it's crazy. I mean, you're, not really sleeping much, but, you got to do what you got to do, between just trying to focus on your business and focusing on the job and doing a good job, as a W-2 employee. It just gets jam-packed, so when you do have that free time, you just got to make it all count pretty much, because that's going to be your passion and that's what you want to do. So during your free time, it's just making it all work in that little time that you do have.
So I think that what's interesting about like your attitude that's really cool, in one thing I want to talk about is like the definition of sacrifice, right? So when we decide or we choose to do something and it's new, it's not an 8-hour thing. Because as an entrepreneur, you have 8 hours of work and then you have 4 hours of educating yourself on how to be good at your craft. So talk a little bit about like the fear of that.
The fear of learning everything.
Fear of learning everything, and just now you are technically a business owner. Like you own your own company. So talk about it.
Well, you are kind of just diving in the deep end because, you know, if you don't have the right people that you're surrounded by, luckily I have Gina to kind of help guide me through when you don't know something. It can get scary, you know, because you don't know what to do and you get in a panic. But, you know, as long as you do have those people that are seasoned and do know what they're doing, you'll be able to kind of dig your way out, so to speak.
100%. I think that the infamous line that our parents told us when we were kids, like, you are who you hang out with, and we got so mad about it. It's 100% true. Yeah. Like when you're around good people that lift you up and they're there to support you and kind of carry you, it's not about the people that are with us at our best. You know, it's at those people that are there, like when we're in the trenches, when we're at our worst, and not even bad times, but like that they're there to say, hey, you got this. Right. Like, I got you. So Gina, I think that you're that cheerleader. And I think that you kind of just bleed that into people. So talk to people about really what the LPT culture is like and what you're trying to do when you bring these agents in to sponsor them and get them acclimated in our culture.
So I think it's the whole theme of LPT. We're just one big family, and we all just help one another. And I've seen you do that myself, Betsy. You've helped no matter who is in need, whether it be real estate or whatever. You're always there to help, and I try to model that myself. I mean, I think LPT is just a great model for real estate agents, and we're just there to help one another, lift each other up. And when somebody is down, we do lift them up, and when somebody's up, we keep them up.
I love that.
It's true.
That's that song, when you're up and you're up and you're up and you're up. I definitely think what's also cool, and since we have Heidi here, is that they allow us to have our own ecosystem. So if you have an agent out there that's interested in LPT and wants to reach out to Gina, you should do that, because if you have an established title person or lender, we can use anyone we want. So talk about the value of the partnership between you and Heidi and why that's important.
So I actually got introduced to Heidi when I was with my first brokerage doing short sales.
Yes.
So I had spoken with Heidi for a long time, but then never got to meet her until I moved to the Wesley Chapel area and Tampa area. And we just struck up a friendship. So not only a business relationship, but also a friendship. And she has just been a model professional, guiding me through how the financing part works and, you know, how to help best serve our buyers. And she's been there consistently. I mean, I remember our first deal together. Yeah. It was a manufactured home. It was probably one of the worst deals, but she made it happen. She made it work. You know, what do we tell buyers not to do before they buy a home?
Well, you don't go open a credit card. You don't buy a car.
Thank you. Yeah. And that's exactly what they did. And we were like, oh, great. But Heidi was able to get it done. And I told her, I hope this is not what's to come for the rest of our future together. I'll bring you some easy deals, which we've worked on a lot together.
So Heidi, I think that everyone out there definitely would want to know, what is the importance of having a solid partnership as a realtor, if they're new in the industry or seasoned, with your agents? Talk about that.
Yeah. So, you know, I think as a realtor, you know, you have to be able to count on, like, you have to focus on growing your business and servicing your clients and not managing the aspects of the deal that are not directly your responsibility. So like, when I work with a realtor, it's a partnership. They trust me that I can do my job correctly. If they need anything from me or have questions, anything real estate related, of course, if they're newer, I'm happy to try to help answer. But, you know, I want them to feel like Heidi's got it. You know, the loan's going to be clear to close. If there's a problem that I need to be involved in, Heidi's going to come to me. So I want them to just have that confidence that they can focus on the parts of their business. So I feel like if you're a realtor who is, constantly changing partners, and that's a lot of work for you, and it's a big distraction from your core business. So while it's important to have strong partners, once you find them, I'm not a huge fan of going out and trying to find the next big thing, because if it's working, you keep them, and you nurture those relationships, and it's more never adversarial. If there's a challenge, we work through it together, as opposed to pointing fingers or blaming or whatever. So I've always been a huge fan of accountability. I'm a huge proponent of knowledge and knowing my craft, so that I can be the person that people count on to get a hard deal closed or an easy deal, either one.
Well, I think it's very cool that LPT gives the agents the opportunity to bring their ecosystem into this show. And I think, just circling back to like what I said to Gina, and Gina is kind of one of a kind. She would be the one to say, hey, Betsy, you're doing this big tour, you should talk about it. I think what's really cool about having this opportunity is that people can come in this room and in this studio, no matter what they do or what their role in the industry is, whether people replicate different services or brands, that they get to showcase themselves. And there's plenty of business in Tampa Bay. I love everything that you do. Every time you've been on the show, I can tell you that I don't like dealing with lenders. They are probably my least favorite people out of the ecosystem. But every time I talk to you, or I talk to people that use you, they have nothing but great things to say just about how educated you are about the products that you sell. I think that you should pat yourself on the back, because I can tell you've been here since 2015, and I have been through a multitude of people that will always over promise and under deliver. And it seems like what you promise, you're straightforward and you deliver. So I commend you for that.
Yeah. Thank you, Betsy. And I'm very fortunate. I'm in a model, we're brokers, so I'm in a model where, I can be transparent, and you
got options.
And we can focus on, the rules instead of smoke and mirrors. I'm just in the best model possible for my approach to mortgages, and I think for the consumer. So
if somebody wants a loan, or they want to know more about your products, Miss Heidi, could you give them your phone number?
Oh, of course. So my number is 813-363-5953.
Mr. Justin, throw out those digits.
Absolutely. 813-967-8904.
And Miss Gina, can you let everyone know your number if they are interested in LPT Realty, investments, being sponsored by you, knowing more about your ecosystem, all the things real estate?
Absolutely, Betsy. It's 954-829-4440.
And fortunately for all of our listeners out there, we have one segment left with Justin, Heidi, and Miss Gina. We're going to talk about predictions, thoughts, and opinions. Did you catch all that? Predictions, thoughts, and opinions of what's going to happen with home purchases, investment purchases, and buying, selling, and investing in 2023. We have Gina and Heidi and Justin here, three very educated people when it comes to basically pursuing real estate transactions in the right way. And I think that that's important. Anybody can walk through a real estate transaction. Anybody can structure a deal. But when you're doing it the right way, in an efficient way, which also provides a great experience, you have three people here that can definitely talk about it. So download the iHeartRadio app, pop in those earbuds, even if you're at work and you're not supposed to be listening, or you're doing laundry and you're not feeling it today. Pop in your earbuds, listen to segment 4. You're not going to want to miss this. And I will catch you after the break. Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host, Betsy Tinervin, with LPT Realty and the Tampa Bay Investments team. I am honored that Robert Palmer and LPT make this possible. Every single week, we bring you guys the raw and real of life, business, and of course, real estate. I have a returning guest, Heidi Lombardi, who just continuously wants to spend more time with me, talking all things mortgages. And then I've been honored to kind of get to know Justin Klein, who really is servicing the Tampa Bay community by working with a group home and juveniles that have mental situations kind of going on and just really struggles where they live in this group home, and he is there kind of as their caretaker. And what's cool about the situation is he got plugged in with Gina Bufumo because Gina actually sold that investor that property that now is giving a need, fulfilling a need in the Tampa Bay community. So I love how this is all circled back. And I absolutely can say this because I host the show. Until they fire me, I can say whatever I want. I am super biased when it comes to Gina. I met her at a class. Her husband and I just became talking all different things, and we've had many moments to kind of share together. And she truly is somebody that inspires me in this business. I definitely always respect my elders, and the more time you have on earth, you have more experience. So anyone can say they've had a track record and a history, but experience comes with time. And so I've been just kind of overjoyed, Gina, just every time we've had a conversation about what you do and how you do it. So give the listeners some great nuggets.
Okay.
I just want to know, like, predictions, thoughts, and opinions. And you can leave this as a broad, open-ended question. It can be life, business, or real estate for 2023, whatever you want to say. But predictions, thoughts, and opinions for 2023 as a whole.
Okay. Well, I think real estate will continue on its track, to kind of be outbursting in Tampa. I think Tampa, it being one of the biggest cities, the fastest growing cities, I don't think it's going to slow down at all. I think prices have leveled off a little bit, but I don't think people are stopping at any time soon to invest or purchase their homes. I think a lot of investors are coming out of the woodwork at this point in time, as a matter of fact, because prices have come down a little bit. I think we're going to see a lot of investments coming up. Again, it's my opinion, and we'll see. And Heidi being my preferred lender, hopefully I'll keep her busy this year.
That's great. I think I do want to turn to you, Heidi, because I think that we keep this show raw and real. So I've hated the line, date the rate, marry the house.
I never say that.
Yeah. And you know what I love? This is a fact. This is not me getting paid to say this. Heidi has never said that. Why I don't like that, right, is because let's be real. Everyone looking at purchasing an investment or purchasing a home right now is looking at the rates.
Yes.
And it is like kind of scary for them. However, you've been in this industry a long time. So really in reality, what I will say is people bought houses when interest rates were 12%.
They did.
I was one of them.
There you go.
Oh,
They
yeah.
did.
And they still watched it appreciate, pulled out equity. And again, if you're smart and you do work with a good agent, they can tell you how to cycle through that asset and make an asset out of something that's really a liability. Because our cars and our homes we live in, they're liabilities. They're not profit centers. But you can actually take a liability that you live in and make it an asset, even when you buy with a high interest rate. So I really do want to hear a genuine opinion from you on why now is an okay time to buy or invest even with high interest rates.
Okay. So first I'll start by saying, my background is business. So I do have an MBA, and the number one component of wealth in our country is real estate. So families who have a lot of money, a lot of them it's tied to real estate. Individual families, individuals who great portion of their net worth is tied to real estate. So if you're continuing to rent, you're robbing yourself of that opportunity to really grow your net worth. So what we saw last year was historical, in the last year and a half, was historical appreciation, rapidly rising appreciation. Everybody in the industry knew that wasn't going to continue. It's just not sustainable. So what we've seen is a slowdown of that appreciation. But the 5-year forecast for appreciation for real estate in our area is still over 25%. So, you find another investment that you're living in, that you're continuing, instead of paying somebody else's mortgage, pay your own. I think when I talk to buyers, a lot of them are trying to time the market. And what I tell them is you can't time the market. The best time to buy is when you're qualified to buy and you're tired of renting and you're ready to make an investment in your future in homeownership. That is the time you buy. So while interest rates are a little bit higher, if your monthly payment is something you can afford and it's close or maybe even less than your rent, now is the time to buy. And if you think about it, back last year, if you paid $30,000 over asking price for a house, but you got a 3% interest rate, how long is it going to take you at $250 savings a month to pay back that $30,000 you overpaid for that house versus buying in this market? You really just have to look at the big picture. And, we have a lot of tools we share with buyers to help them understand equity position and payments and their financial position, so they understand when the right time is to buy. But If I had $1 for every person that said they're waiting for the market, I'd have a lot of dollars, and all those people are still paying somebody else's mortgage.
I think that there's not a lot of times that I'm like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And I think that the definition that you just gave people is perfect, because I think that in reality, you're identifying the fears, which is a reality.
Yes.
That's just a reality. Like you can't go to anyone and go, don't worry, 7.5%, or that DSCR rate's in the 8s or the 9s. But what I love that you said that summarized it all is seeing the end at the beginning. Real estate is a long-term play.
Yes.
And it's not something that you smack a button and it's this profit center. It's a long-term play, and you can take it from buying a personal asset to buying an investment, to building out an investment portfolio, to then taking that and investing in opportunity zones where over a 10-year period, you're not making all of this profit and you're not paying taxes. And what I really like to tell people too is when you understand leveraging debt and tax, that's when you understand how sexy real estate really is.
Yes.
Because when you understand how you can literally not pay tax on a profit center by using real estate as the driving force of that, you win every time. And I love what you said. Justin.
Yes.
So I think there is a lot of just fear out there. You know, I think everybody got really comfortable during COVID. I think there was a huge excuse of can't go outside because of COVID, can't go to the gym because of COVID, got to wear my mask and can't smile because of COVID, got to wear weird rubber gloves. I mean, just be honest with me, Justin, when you saw someone running down the street by themselves and they had a mask on, did that make you question like their level of intelligence?
A little bit. I bet you it was hard to breathe, but.
Yeah, because I was like, you know, I understand the people with the masks that are like running on the treadmills and they're really trying to like get fit. And there's a whole science behind that. But you have a mask on and you're by yourself. Or how about in the car? When you saw someone riding up to the stop sign next to you and you look over and there's not even a passenger and they have a mask on, I start to think, man. So circling back, we had this whole COVID thing, right? And so we had 2020, then we go into 2021 and we're still kind of recovering. And then we go through 2022 and it's like people kind of just forgot how to like survive and live.
Yeah.
So I feel like they all had a little CPR. So now we're launching into 2023.
Yeah.
Predictions, thoughts, and opinions, kid.
So I want to circle back to what, Gina said about investors kind of coming out the woodworks. I can totally agree with that. A little bit of my background does come from wholesaling, and just kind of noticing that, these long-term rentals, the LTRs, has kind of just been their, go-to. We had a pocket listing inside our office for a duplex, and I reached out to some of the buyers I used to know, and they were tackling it down like crazy. I mean, that's just kind of what they're looking for nowadays, because interest rates, I guess, didn't take a huge step back, but they have lowered. And that's what I guess is drawing them into those long-term rental investments. So I can see a lot of investors coming out just for those.
Well, for everyone out there listening, Tampa Bay has just been named #1 place to live on Forbes. So in case you didn't know, now you know that we are an amazing city, one of the metro hubs. Justin, throw out those digits for everybody one more time.
Yeah, absolutely. 813-967-8904.
Miss Heidi Lombardi, give everyone those digits.
813-363-5953.
And Miss Gina Bufumo.
It's 954-829-4440. And let's not forget that investor.
Yes.
I can't
very
wait.
Exciting. I'm so glad that you're going to be there, Gina.
I am too.
I'm super excited about the Investor. I've loved having all of you guys on the show today. Justin, I just kind of want to super bless your career before we wrap this up. I hope that 2023 is great for you. I can tell you that there's always a breakdown before a breakthrough. So that moment where you feel like, man, this is just not going to get it, push through that one moment. Michael Jordan says it the best. He can't make any shots that he didn't take.
Right.
So take a lot of shots, take a lot of risk, and embrace every failure, man.
Thank you, Betsy.
You're welcome. Gina, as always, it's been a pleasure. Heidi, as always, it's been a pleasure. Rule before you guys leave is you have to come back. Is that
okay.
Cool?
Thank you.
Good. All of our religious listeners out there every weekend, everyone that watches on Facebook, I love you. I appreciate you. We want to thank Robert Palmer, and we will catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Raw and Real of Real Estate podcast, powered by LPT Realty, Real Estate Reimagined. We hope this episode motivated and inspired you. And don't forget to rate and review us. Thanks again for listening. to the Raw and Real of Real Estate podcast with Betsy Tinervin.